You're 53 now. What was that like?
I will be 53, so more or less, yeah, February.
So it's quite often, it's a big moment in people's lives, you know, those kind of 30, 40, 50. How did you feel when you turned 50?
You know, it's sort of mixed thing. I mean, there's this incredible sense of kind of mortality that creeps in, because you think to yourself, OK, with the very best intentions, right, you're at least halfway.
Yes.
At least halfway, and realistically speaking, you know, you're probably past halfway. And then you start to think, well, OK, that's fine. But then you go, well, the good half is behind you. I don't know how true that is. I mean,
Sorry, ladies.
You start to use, but you know, you get very dramatic, is my point, and then and you start, you know, you think to yourself, well, OK, well, and I guess sort of time becomes a lot more precious, and you start thinking, and in actual fact, the good half is ahead of you because you value. I found that in the last sort of 2.5 years, I've valued time and life more and become a lot more appreciative. And
you're a cool guy. I mean, do your kids think you're cool?
Oh God, no, of course, they don't think I'm cool. Well, in actual fact, they think people like Taylor Swift and Bieber and you know, they think they're cool. They don't really listen to my music. Having said that, my second son, Johan, out of the blue, asked to come to my gig in Los Angeles recently on a school night. And so it was really special, you know. I was so chuffed that he asked. He actually volunteered.
And how old is he?
He said, he has just turned 9. Oh, yeah? And he said, oh, I want to go to your show. He heard I was playing, and it was the first time it's ever happened. You know, I've dragged them along when they were a lot smaller. But it's the first time he actually asked.
It means a lot, that, doesn't it?
It means a lot, and so he played it cool the whole way, and then obviously when I was on stage, I saw him dancing in the aisle, you know, and he was saying, you know, and he was with my girlfriend, and he was saying, look, you know, he's singing to me, he's just singing to me. He looked over this direction, and so that was a really nice feeling.
And then afterwards, did he go back to the super cool kid that didn't really say
Well,
much?
he didn't actually make it through the concert. He fell asleep. I'm not quite sure what that says for my music.
You mentioned your girlfriend there, Erica. Now, there have been...
Yeah, moving swiftly onwards.
Oh, no. No, but I have to ask... No, Sid, I have to ask you, come on, what we do my job. No, because
we don't.
There have been rumours that she might be expecting a baby.
I have learned my lesson.
Is that a no,
I do not
then?
discuss anything
You'll get into trouble with her.
No, I just think, you know, I think that if you live your private life by the sword of the media, be prepared to have it fall at the sword of the media. I mean... it's something I've never really been into doing, like discussing my private life.
I'm like that on this show. Always private.
So what about your years with Heidi, who now your ex-wife, but you used to renew your wedding vows every year, which was very public. So were you not very comfortable with that then, if you're saying you don't really like doing things in the public eye?
Well, it became a public spectacle. It's not something that you know. It was never intended to be a public spectacle. It's something that you do for yourself, or it's something that you do for each other. I remember I met Matt Damon, who I'm terribly fond of. I think he's an amazing person. We were on stage together. I walked up to him. I said, "Oh, I'm a great fan of yours." He said, "Yeah, I'm a great fan of yours too." He said, "Sorry to hear about the breakup." And I said, "Oh, it's fine. You know, stuff happens." And he said to me, "Yeah." He said, "You know," "I married civilian." And I knew what he meant by that. I mean, he said it all.
What does he mean?
Well, for those of you who are at home, don't.
Like
he meant. I think it was his way of saying, like, you know, he married a girl who was not in the same industry.
Oh, right.
Let's talk about love, baby. There's a cue for a song there. The new album is all about love.
Ruth,
oh, thanks. Years of practice.
Professional.
But the new album, it's called Seven, which I was slightly confused about because it's
Seal,
the 9th.
actually. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's my 7th studio album recorded with my great friend and mentor, Trevor Horn, my producer. So I think it's the 7th studio album that we've recorded together. How
do you write now? Where do you take your inspiration from? So I was reading, you know, a lot of the songs are about love or they're about breakups. Is that about your life? Is any of it autobiographical?
Well,
Is it
I always think that as a musician, as a songwriter, one of the great things about it is that you get to sort of chronicle life in general, not necessarily yours.
The single from the album, Seal 7, is Every Time I'm With You. Now, that sounds like it might be a love song. Is it a love song?
Well, it's an attempt at one, certainly. It's, you know, I try to think of the things that couples would want to both say and hear from each other. You know, why do you love me? Or why are we together? What is it you find in me? Well, because every time I'm with you, I feel wanted.
You're on tour at the moment with Duran Duran.
Yes.
Yeah, how's that
With
going?
the Duranis.
Yeah.
That's been fantastic. I mean, and first of all, they're great, great, great people. I listen to them quite a lot. I remember, God, there was a time where, honestly, they were just the biggest thing on the planet.
Do you get a break now? Christmas? You off for Christmas? What you up
Break.
to?
If you call, like, you know, parenthood a break. I've got the kids for Christmas, which I'm really looking forward to. And that's the toughest thing about sort of being on the road is that, you know, you miss them. I love performing, I love being on the road, but the toughest thing is you know, speaking to them every day on FaceTime and trying to think of, you know, reinvent new ways to sustain their interest and explain why you're not there